regarding the study of economics. So meaning we have full as the basic economics. So the nature and scope of economics. So you're talking about the nature and the scope. So meaning the scope where the economics start and where the economics stop in terms of studying economics. So economics define how people and institutions make choices. So meaning the choices, as I've said, that people, uh, since the products is scarce, that's why the people make choices. So meaning you sacrifice one so that you can get one. So you cannot accept all, because when you accept all, that is a part of scarcity of others. So meaning when you buy something, you buy only for your consumption. So meaning you sacrifice one so that you can get one. Next, how the choices determine how resources are used. So meaning the choices determine how resources are used. So meaning to determine the resources, it depends on the use of the resources. So the other one, so organized body of knowledge, coordinated, arranged, and systematized according to the general laws and principles. So social science, so many study the behavior and interaction of human beings as individuals and in groups. So in economics theory and policy, talking about the theory and policy. So economic theory develops rules and principles. So meaning for the theory develops rules and principles. So meaning the principles in accordance to the law of the area. So meaning you cannot make laws without studying the area. So guide for action under given set of circumstances. So economic policy, so what is actually done under given set of circumstances. So meaning in terms of policy, so the policy now, like for example, in Luton City, so by not using the pistol, the fish mask, that is the policy. But implementor, the policy is a science, but whereas the implementor is an art. So it depends on the implementor to penalize or not. But there's a policy. So meaning the policy cannot be broke, cannot be put as delete, because the policy is a science and approved by the higher authority. But the people use that policy is an art. That's why art can be implemented or cannot be implemented. Political, military, and social aspect. So about the policy. So the military and social aspect. So we, like for example in Mindanao, we have the military policy. So we have called as the martial law. So meaning that is the policy. So meaning by using the martial law, by imposing the martial law, people cannot bring called as guns. So that is for the policy. But it depends on the military who use the policy, if that military can penalize or not. So next, production is a creation or addition of utility. Meaning utility, ability of goods or services to satisfy a want. So meaning that is utility considered as useful. So that is the hotel, from the word hotel. So meaning is a useful one. So that is to satisfy a want. So total product, sum of all goods and services produced by an economy over a given time, period of time. So that is a total product. So meaning, for example, the time of December, that is harvesting period. So meaning how many tons of rice or what kind of agricultural products. So that is the aggregation of that is a total products. So that is for distribution. So allocation of total product among productive resources. Next is monetarily distribution of money, income among the owners of the productive resources. So for the productive resources, inputs or resources necessarily before a person or business can engage in the production of a good or service. So meaning inputs or resources necessary. So for example, if you are a farmer of rice field, so meaning the inputs now first, the, the land is a factor, and the input is the chemicals, the rice to be planted. So all the resources considered in the production of goods or services. So like for example, an instructor, the inputs of instructor is the chalk, the eraser, and also the laptop or computer, that is for the inputs. Next is labor, time and effort expended by human beings involved in the production process. So meaning labor refers to the person regardless of expertise about the particular aspect of production. So land, the resources of land, sea and air. So resources of the land, sea and air. So meaning resources of the land, so meaning that is the agricultural land, agricultural goods, whereas the sea, so the source, the product of the sea is the sea products, like for example fish and other, and air, that is called as the bird, so that is for the resources. So capital goods used to produce other goods and services, so meaning that is capital. So talking about capital, it's a crucial, because in economics, capital, to define capital, is not the same definition of capital in accounting. Because capital in economics, that is other goods and services that can produce other products. For example, building, so materials, so that is capital. But whereas talking about capital in accounting is directly means money. So next is enterprise, act of organizing and assuming the rest of business venture. So meaning an enterprise, the entrepreneur, so meaning organize for the business venture. So entrepreneur person who organizes and assumes risk. So look at the functional distribution of income. So the center is the product. So meaning there's a resources and there's a type of payment. So when resources, land, labor, capital, and enterprise. But whereas the payments now in terms of wages, rent, interest, and profit. So that is called as total product. Next is positive and normative economics. So positive economics, economics of what is, so relationship that are verifiable. So normative economics, economics of what ought to be, and combines economics and politics and policy. So for the consumption, use of a good or service. So ultimate end of economic activity. So ultimate end of economic activity, that is a consumption. So for example, when you produce called as the abaca or the fiber, so the ultimate end of economic activity is about the called as the wrapper or the wrapper of a tea bag. So the tea bag is the ultimate end of economic activity. Next is production and distribution driven by consumption desire. So look at goods and services. There's a free goods and there's a consumer goods. There's a public goods, there's a capital goods. So talking about free goods, so free goods is a free. Like for example, air, sunlight, it's a free good. But whereas the consumer good, like for example, in terms of air, that is oxygen, air condition, that is a consumer good. So public good, so meaning like for example, look at the drawing. So that is more on land, is public goods. The capital goods, so that is building. So that is the goods and services. So next is economic good. Objective or service, yeah, it is utility, scarce, transferable, scarcity, which means not a sufficient amount available to meet everyone's want. Price has to be paid to obtain the good or services. So next, greater the scarcity, the greater the value or price. So greater the scarcity, the greater the value of price. So meaning if the product is lesser supply, resulting to the high price of a product. Because people now are competing to buy the products. So that is a free goods and public goods. So free goods, goods that lacks the elements of scarcity. That is no price. Like for example, air. So when we breathe air, that is a natural, no price. But if you are going to use air condition, there's a price. Price in terms of electricity uh, payment. So public goods, so that is economic goods to the supplier, to the supplier. So free to the user. So public parks, libraries, and then interstate highway system. That is public goods. So meaning the goods can be used to everybody. Like for example, the roads, the railroads, so meaning you can use because the construction of the roads is based in our tax. So consumer and capital goods, so many consumer goods, goods that are directly used by the consuming public. So books, paper, food, and clothing, so that is for the consuming public. So meaning the products now is to the end of the consumer. Capital goods, so meaning goods used to produce other consumer or capital goods. So used to produce other consumer or capital goods. So meaning that is capital goods. So meaning, for example, building. So like aside from building, so motorcycle or car that is considered as capital goods. Building machinery equipment, durable and non-durable. So wealth and income. So when you're talking about wealth, valued things of a particular time is a wealth. So according to them, our health is a wealth. And also the wealth now, like example land, so that is our wealth. But human capital, the stock of labor, talents, and skills used to increase productivity. So that is for the human capital. So meaning our talent, our skills can increase productivity. Next, total income. The total value of the goods and services produced over a period of time. Usually 1 year, that is for the total income. So, the microeconomics deals with the economic problems of the individual, the firms and the industry. The macroeconomics deals with the aggregates of economics, total production, total employment, and general price level. So, thank you very much for listening for the topic number 2 of economics.